So it's goodbye to Sonia, leaving us with Stephen, Jane and Roland. Now it's round 2, just 6 questions here. And as ever, those questions have been asked to over 1,000 people right across Britain. But they've also been asked to a celebrity guest. Our contestants will score points for correct answers, of course, but they could also double those points if they can guess whether our celebrity guest knows the answer or not. So, Tim, who's today's guest?
Today, Graeme, we're joined by jazz legend and art aficionado George Melly. He's very welcome.
Ah, the dapper George Melly. Right, contestants, fingers on the buzzers, please. Here we go. The first of 6 questions. Playwright Arthur Miller became whose third husband, Roland?
Marilyn Monroe.
In June 1956. Correct.
And you get 72 points for that, but to double, you've got to guess whether George Melly got that right or not.
I would imagine so.
I would imagine. Let's see if he did. George.
Arthur Miller became the third husband of the greatest sex symbol of the age, which he certainly wasn't, Marilyn Monroe. It didn't last, and later on Miller wrote a play about it.
Well, you were right to go with him, and your points doubled to 144. Well done.
A good start. Which disease in adults is caused by the herpes zoster virus, but also, Jane?
Cold sores.
Not cold sores. Stephen?
Shingles.
Shingles, the virus that also causes chickenpox, that's right.
And you get 47 points for that, but to double, is that the sort of thing George would know?
Why wouldn't he?
Why wouldn't he, indeed? Meaning, you think he would. George?
I don't know. I had chickenpox. It can be very bad with small children. But could it be herpes simplex, about the only herpes I know?
No, I'm afraid it couldn't, and you were wrong to go with him. You stick with 47 points.
OK, Jane, you still have to score, but there are 4 questions left. What completes the title of this Charles Dickens novel? Bleak... Stephen?
House.
Correct.
Again, 61 points you get there to double. George?
I'm fairly certain you should know that.
I think you're probably right, but I don't know. George, did you know that?
Bleak, Bleak House, one of his later novels, one of his very best, I think.
Well, you were right to go with him, and you doubled to 122 points. Well done.
Halfway through, Jane, you still have to score, but there are plenty of points left. How many natural satellites does our moon have? Stephen?
2.
No, that's wrong. Roland?
0.
0 is correct. It has no natural satellites.
Trick question. 77 points up to double again. George Melly, is he a satellite man?
Oh, I would hope so.
But do you think he is?
Yes.
Yes, OK, George.
I wouldn't have thought so. Some of the moons have a great many on other planets, but I'll guess none.
And you were right to go with him, so you double to 154.
Roland, with George's help, goes up to 298. Stephen, 169. Jane, you still have to score. What forename was shared by the painter Picasso and the cellist Roland?
Pablo.
Pablo, cellist Casals, yes.
43 points there, now to double.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
You sure he does? George, do you know the answer?
What forename was shared by the painter Picasso and the classic guitarist Casals, if that's how you pronounce it? Pablo.
Pablo, and you double to 86. Well done.
OK, Roland's steaming ahead there. Jane, you still have to score, but a good double could still put you into the next round. The last question. What are you proverbially unlucky at if you are lucky in love? Stephen?
Cards.
Cards is correct.
And you get 80 points. Cards, do you think George would know about cards?
Oh, he looks a bit of a sharp to me.
He does, yes. I think that's a compliment. George, did you know the answer to that?
What are you unlucky with if you're lucky with love? Oh, unlucky with... don't know.
Oh, I'm surprised at that. I must say, musicians tend to gamble. You don't double, you just get 80.
That doesn't matter because Stephen has 249, Roland has 384. That means they go through Jane, who never got off the ground in that round. I'm sorry you won't be joining us in part 2, but let's hope that we're not going to leave you destitute. Tim?
I can, I hope, let you have £100, Jane, if you can work out which group of people did the best, pro-hunting or anti-hunting, when asked the following question. In the game of Monopoly, what colour is Piccadilly? Would you happen to know? It doesn't matter if you do or not.
Blue, isn't it?
It isn't actually.
It's yellow.
Yes, it is.
It's
It's
yellow.
yellow. You knew instantly, but who out of our pro-hunting or anti-hunting are more likely to have got that right? In other words, what is the higher percentage?
Pro-hunting.
Pro-hunting? Because they tend to live in that area, or what? Not hunting, they don't. OK, let's first of all see which percentage of anti-hunters knew that answer, that Piccadilly was yellow in Monopoly. 26%. Well, it's looking promising at the moment. Now, what percentage of the pro-hunters knew that Piccadilly was yellow? Oh, only 20. Oh, I'm sorry, they let you down badly. Well, that's what you expect of pro-hunters, so controversially. Anyway, I'm very sorry that you're leaving us without any money, but thanks very much for taking part.
So sadly, it's goodbye to Jane. In part 2, Roland and Stephen will be going head-to-head to see which one of them will be playing to beat the nation. But before we take a break, Tim is going to leave us with one of his fiendish little one-percenters.
Fiendish indeed. This is a question answered correctly by just 1% of the nation. Are you among the nation's elite? Sure. Well, today's question is, the name of which gas comes from the Greek for acid producer? The name of which gas comes from the Greek for acid producer? Do you know it at home? Well, we'll let you know the answer after the break.
We'll see you then.
We will.